This video is sharing the gospel. I got to share the gospel with one of my childhood friends. I seen him on as I was cutting grass, and we just got to talking, and then I got to see what he was telling me what was going on with him. He's pretty scared about going through some treatment options because basically he's scared that he has cancer and he has to go get it all checked out. Then he's getting to uh, get the people from Tahola to drive him because he does not drive. Then I got to talk to him about Jesus. I shared with the gospel with him, and he knows about it, and he's reluctant about it. But like I said, I just kept sharing that with him. He knows my situation because one of the things that happened when my back was out and I couldn't lift not even 5 pounds was that he was there and he carried one of my things that I needed to be carried, which was let's see, that was 5 years ago. So that was like he carried a generator for me. I just bought a generator online and I couldn't move it, and he was just happened to walk by, and he came over and he moved the generator. I can pick up that generator and move it now myself, but at that time I couldn't. So, he's been a good friend. And so I told him, you know, asked him if I could pray for him, and I told him about the Lord. I said, Jesus loves you and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, yeah. It's like, it's not like he wanted to hear that, but he knows that I'm like that. So he knows that's just what he's going to hear from me. But he did want my prayers. And I know that because just the way he acts. So I'm like, hey, can I pray for you? And he's like, yeah, because he's seen the power of the Lord in my back, heal my back. He's the one in the village that knows the power of the Lord in my back because everybody down here seen what the Lord can do for me, and I didn't have no operation. They seen I couldn't walk, and they seen the other miracles that the Lord has done. Like one of my cousins, I got to share with him his boy, and he knows this too, but I'm sharing this with you. He was in an auto accident down by our casino. He got thrown out of a car and launched into by the swamp. Where he landed, he just happened to land on a dry spot. A little bit to the left, he would have drowned. A little bit to the right, he would have drowned. But anyway, he was in really bad shape. They were expecting him to be in the hospital for at least 6 months. That's what the doctors were saying. As I was sharing this with him, I told him that, the Lord wanted me to go up there and pray for him. So I found out where he was at. He was at Mary Bridge Children's Hospital in Tacoma. So I went up there and I talked to his parents, which I know. One of his dad is my cousin, and I grew up with his mom, so I know her too. And then one of my other cousins was there. It was like, hey, Daniel, good to see you. I'll show you where he's at. And then, so I was going into the ICU at Mary Bridge. I was going around the corner. And then I went straight. And then as I went around that second corner to go where he was at, the room that he was at, the nurses, as soon as I got around that corner, everything was fine. But then there a lot of started beeping. And he was brain dead. Pastor, my nephew was brain dead. And so as I was walking, they started beeping, and then the whole, whoever his team was, they started running over there to where he was at. And one of my cousins, she ran in front of us and went in there, and I kind of didn't run, but I was moving faster towards where he was at, and I got to go in there and I put my hand on his calf and I got to pray for him. Just not even a really good prayer, just like, Lord, heal him. And then we got kicked out of the room because the nurses and the doctors were coming in because his his brain came back to life. But Pastor, before all that happened, before we started walking to where his room was, I got to pray with his dad like I was taught how to pray. And then that's when I started walking over there. But nobody can tell me no difference. After I started praying for him, his brain came back to life, and I shared that with my friend, and he knows that too. A lot of people down here know that. But what really gets to be, Pastor, is this: praying for somebody and not seeing them walk with the Lord afterwards. I know the story of the 10 lepers where they, only one came back out of 10. And with these classes, this has taught me how to share the gospel because I didn't know how to do that before. But it's not really necessarily showing the gospel down in my village because mostly everybody has heard the gospel down here. And that's what's so makes my heart hurt. But I shared that with him anyways, and then I got to share that Lord can heal him too, because that's just one of many, many miracles that I've seen down here. People look at me funny now differently, and that's okay. Because now people are starting to come on. Now, I'm not saying all the time, but people are coming to see me like when they need prayer for this or that. Another one of my cousins came to see me over the 4th and wanted me to pray for their friend that was coming from another reservation. Well, that time I was going to Costco because I needed food, and I guess I should have just stayed and prayed, but no, I didn't. But I still lift them up in prayer and back to my friend. So I got to pray for him, and I told him, I'm like, I'm expecting good things. Nothing's gonna be wrong. Everything's gonna be all right. And I seen him this morning when I was getting coffee with my son because I'm teaching my son how to drive now. We're on the reservation, but I seen my friend there, and so I just know that he's gonna be all right. And thank you for accepting this late video. I've been working. Lord blessed me with a job where I'm going to be working until like end of August and September, and it's pretty good wages for me down here. I'm going to be saving money for my next trip so I can pay for my next trip to San Francisco next for missions trip next year, and I think I'm going to put money away for that because I want to go to San Francisco. I was born in Santa Cruz, and then I love Seattle, but San Francisco is the heart that I don't know. That I've only been there a couple times, and I've been there, and that's like that song, "I Lost My Heart in San Francisco." But thank you, Pastor, for accepting this late video on sharing the gospel. Pastor Adam, really appreciate you. Dr. Galia, appreciate you. All Pastor Fred, appreciate you too. Dr. Sabo, I don't know if I said his name right. Dr. Dan, Kiera, really appreciate her. She's gone more than distance for me. And I look forward to next year. It was hard. I'm going to say it was really hard. The last quarter was really, really hard. The end of the thing, I'm not going to on missions that really got really hurt, but I'll make it this next time. And thank you again.